Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect 3. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our Insanity walkthrough, and we are nearing the end of the series and with that the trilogy as a whole in rapid strides. After wrapping up the Leviathan DLC over the course of the last 3 episodes, today it is time to continue with the game's main quest line, as we have tracked the Elusive Man's assassin Kai Leng to a colony on Horizon.
Commander Shepard.
So that is where we will go today to hopefully find out more about what Cerberus is planning, and maybe to also put an end to Kai Leng's shenanigans for good. Before we leave though, one quick stop in the shuttle bay, because once again it is time to show off a new weapon. Today I think we'll test out the very interesting Venom shotgun, and of course we are playing on Insanity, so let's make it as powerful as we can, and that involves spending a grand total of 26,500 credits. With that, however, the level 5 Venom shotgun is ready to go and we can set course for Horizon, a planet that, as you might remember, we have already been to before. Now, that was back in Mass Effect 2 though, where the Collector attack on Horizon served as another major plotline mission, and well, today it does fill a similar role, albeit a little later in the game's overall story. As a matter of fact, and hopefully I don't spoil too much if I say this here is actually the second to last main storyline mission in the entire game before the grand finale. So yeah, like I said, the end of the series is fast approaching, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. For today, let's focus on the mission at hand, which again takes place on Horizon, more specifically in the colony of Sanctuary, a colony that we did see a few advertisements about back on the Citadel, where it was praised as a safe haven amidst the chaos of the war. And for this mission, we will now take Liara and James. In terms of unique dialogue, however, squad member choice for this mission does not really matter. Weapon-wise then, of course, we are dropping the Argus and switch over to the Venom shotgun. You can already see it here, high damage but also high weight. It is described as firing ammunition that detonates on impact, and that it can be charged up to fire a round of microgrenades. So yes, we are very much dealing with a miniature grenade launcher here, and as such we can completely disregard any upgrades that improve kickback, armor penetration or accuracy. Instead we can simply max out damage and also improve melee damage, keeping in mind that we still need quite a few melee kills for the Bruiser achievement.
So, what the hell do we know about this place?
Edie?
The Sanctuary facility was devoted to aiding refugees from Reaper-controlled systems. The facility went offline recently and no communications have come or gone since. It is unclear why Kai Leng or Cerberus would be interested in Sanctuary.
And yes indeed, both dialogue options here more or less boil down to the same answer. Unsurprisingly then, we do not receive any morality points for either one of them, so let's go with the one at the top as usual.
If there's a clue to Cerberus here, we find it.
Sir, I'm picking up a signal from the facility. It's weak. I'll try to boost it.
This is Miranda Lawson. Stay away from Sanctuary. It's not what it seems. Please, you must listen to me. They're using...
Oriana? That's Miranda's sister. If she's here, Miranda can't be far away.
That's our link to Cerberus.
Approaching the LZ. Seeing some damage, Commander, but no activity.
Cerberus does not get the jump on us this time. Stay sharp, people.
Major firefight here, Commander.
Yeah, but who was fighting?
As you wish.
Everyone hear that?
Yes, radio's offline. Something's jamming our signals.
Explains no comms leaving the facility.
What the hell? Cerberus!
Right, so I think it comes to no one's surprise that we are not alone here. Interestingly enough though, it's not just Cerberus, Reaper forces are also present.
A harvester!
I saw it!
And the two of them do not appear to be on friendly terms.
Quick bastards!
Yes, but not quick enough to escape a grenade launcher. Perhaps you already saw what it did to the Nemesis sniper, and as you can see, the very same principle applies to the first Phantom here. There is a second one roaming around though that appears to be a bit more tricky to hit. Still, eventually it helps us obtain melee kill number 64 of the series, and with that, this short fight is already over.
Looks like they were evacuating.
And looks like the Reapers were gunning for him.
About time they started killing each other.
And yes, as we saw earlier, Cerberus and the Reapers are very much not on speaking terms, which kind of begs the question though, which of the two forces we are actually going to run into here today, or whether them fighting each other might make things easier for us. Either way, for now there are no more enemies in sight, so let's grab the medkit on the wall here and explore Sanctuary a bit more.
What happened here?
I don't know. Come on.
Cerberus outbound, came from that tower.
Then that's where we're headed.
Right, so it appears as if Cerberus forces are leaving, which nudges the odds a bit more in favor of the Reapers, I think. And perhaps their hasty escape has something to do with our arrival. I would say there is only one way to find out.
It's a mess, but man, this is a nice setup.
And then something went very wrong.
We need to find out what happened.
And we can start doing so in this very area that we're in right now, which very quickly starts painting a rather uncomfortable picture.
Old security cam footage. People getting sorted out. That's a big crowd.
Come on, let's keep looking.
Right, so we've got people being sorted out despite Sanctuary being advertised as a safe haven, and one can't help but feel that something just doesn't feel right about this.
I figure in another week I can finish off the remaining hours on my contract and move from staff housing into Sanctuary itself. I feel a little guilty that I'm getting an upgrade from standard accommodations, but that's the deal. Do your time at the front desk, get the perks. One more week.
And once again, it sounds here like both living and working conditions might just be a bit worse than advertised, and the mystery only thickens with this PDA over here, where we learn that a certain percentage of both adults and children are being sent to integration, whatever that means, and the note here also makes mention of suitable candidates, and of course we now ask ourselves, suitable for what exactly?
The number of refugees has doubled in the last 2 weeks. I heard that people are just abandoning shuttles outside the main gate. They just don't have anywhere to go. We'll need to start setting up temporary shelters out there until they can be processed.
So, sounds like Sanctuary is being overrun by refugees, which, considering the circumstances, is probably the least surprising thing we've learned so far.
Incident report 2139. An illegal communication device nearly made it past pre-screening. Scanner software has been adjusted. No way it could penetrate the central scrambler, but we can't chance a signal leaving the planet. Report filed.
Communication devices are strictly forbidden.
This must be another landing area.
Yeah, all those transports outside were waiting in line.
But where are all the people they brought?
And yes, that is a very good question, as well as why all communication devices are banned.
Got a fragment of something here.
I can't call right now, but I'll send this as soon as I can. My little girl got sick, that's why I left. I love you, but I have to take care of her. The clinics were closing their doors to refugees. I couldn't borrow credits from you. I don't know where I learned about Sanctuary. Around, I guess. Seemed perfect. Somewhere to hide, you know? Just till she got better. I can see the place out the window. It's huge. They already have people waiting for us.
Got another one.
We land in a few minutes. You should see this place, Dad. It's amazing. Look, I'll record a bunch of stuff and send it to you. They warned us about no comms until we're through processing. What'd I tell you? Top-notch security. Can't wait till you get here.
Right, so it sounds like upon their arrival, the refugees were very much convinced of the legitimacy of this place. Still, in light of what we just heard, there might be some doubt about that.
Got some bodies.
Casualties. Both sides.
And there will be more in just a second, although only on Cerberus' side, as we have a group of troopers waiting for us just around the corner here. Once again, the Venom shotgun does a great job dealing with most of them immediately, and no, charging up the weapon does not actually consume any more ammo, so yes, it is indeed more or less a 20-round grenade launcher, and with a bit of practice can be extremely fun to use.
An observation deck. It's a dead end.
We need an exit. Keep looking.
And well, we can see that exit very clearly just ahead of us. Before we go through, however, we want to pick up a pistol scope on the corpse here.
This is a Cerberus facility. What's that?
That's Miranda.
For your safety.
This is Miranda Lawson. If you've managed to get this far, you must be desperate or stupid. Listen to me. This is not a refugee camp. This is a Cerberus facility run by my father, Henry Lawson. Turn back now. There is no help to be found here. All communication is being blocked from the central tower. Sanctuary is a lie. Stay away.
Okay. So, we've got Cerberus, Reapers, and Miranda's crazy father. Any ideas how this all fits?
Well then, sounds like our suspicions have become true. Sanctuary is obviously not what it seems, although with Cerberus and Miranda's father involved, things might just become even worse.
A security panel. Shutting it down.
What the hell? What's going on here?
I don't know. We have a back door into the facility. Let's move.
Right, so we have some strange-looking machinery hidden under pools of water. Not to mention that clearing out that water also opens up a secret passageway. All in all, very suspicious indeed.
That looks like Reaper technology. I'm sure of it. I don't know how, but Cerberus has found a way to use it.
The answer has to be here somewhere. And Miranda's caught in the middle. Let's pick up the pace.
This looks more like a factory than a refugee camp.
And yes, that is very much an apt description, and there are quite a few parallels to the unfortunate history of my own country here, which did, however, help create an immensely haunting atmosphere for this mission.
Whoa, this looks important. Power's out. Look around for a switch.
Power switch. There.
What am I seeing here? Those are the refugees. The Reapers, what are they doing? They're killing them.
Worse. They're being turned into husks.
Right, it is perhaps even worse than one might have feared when arriving here. Under the guise of a refugee camp, Cerberus has erected a husk production facility.
Come on!
Creating mindless husks doesn't make sense. There must be more to this. The slaughter of so many. For what?
The Reapers attacked because this place was a threat. We need to find out why.
And yes, indeed, it might be a good idea to stay focused on that. For now, though, just more cruelty, as the short note on the PDA here mentions unsuitable materials reassigned to recycling. And, well, I think it's safe to say at this point that those materials are, or at least were at some point, humans.
Shutting down the power. Reaper forces have made a mess of the facility. I'm shutting down the power to the processing plant to lock them down. Should keep them out of the entrance as well.
Madre, she's gonna get blindsided.
Miranda Lawson has arrived sooner than expected. You want me to deal with her?
Only if she gets in your way. Stay focused on the research data. Find it and get out.
Yes, sir.
Damn it! Let's move!
Right, and that would explain why we tracked Kai Leng here. Although, considering what we just witnessed, he may have actually just lost his spot at the top of the most unlikable list.
Not surprised.
And no, running into husks at this point very much not surprising. Blasting them into bits and pieces does feel a bit worse than it did previously though, considering that in all likelihood at least these husks were once innocent refugees. Still, they have unfortunately lost all semblance of that and stand between us and the way forward, and they are also an easy target to collect at least one more melee kill.
Gotta be more where they came from.
I spent the last week making small adjustments to increase processing efficiency. There is no shortage of subjects. Indeed, I'm told there's a long line outside the main gate. The deception is an unfortunate necessity. Time is very short. We've confirmed the results of Cerberus experiments involving the Husk creatures. A crude but necessary first step in decoding how the Reapers communicate. The key is how the Reaper signal interacts with the nanites implanted within the subject's body. It's early yet, but we are making progress.
Reaper forces!
Must be left over from the attack.
Right, so you have heard it, we're dealing with Reaper forces, including at least one Banshee, which means it is a good idea to get into cover now and perhaps also retreat a bit. That does help stretch out the enemy forces. And yes, among those forces we also have Arachni, or more specifically the Reaper forces, the Ravagers, which is one of the main reasons why we want to retreat back into this room here. After all, our squad members are rather keen on running straight into the Ravagers' bombardment, and we need all of their abilities against the Banshee here. As you can see though, even a Banshee is no match for the sheer stopping power of a fully charged up Venom shotgun. Yes, this thing is just immensely powerful, and still at the same time I also feel like it's not completely overpowered. After all, for a fully charged up shot we need to stick our head out of cover for a few seconds. Ammo capacity is also somewhat limited, although that can be improved, and importantly there is also a noticeable projectile drop-off over longer distances, which does make it just a bit more tricky to aim at elevated enemies like the Marauders here. Still, despite all that, we managed to win this fight without too many hiccups. We actually could have entered through this area down the steps here too, via a door in the previous one. That would have put us a bit more into the middle of the fight, however. In my opinion, not a good idea considering the enemies we faced.
Dr. Newry's legacy work with subject Paul Grayson provided a key element to our work here. Using the addictive drug red sand to break down the will was inspired, but proved unreliable for general application. We've proven that adrenaline and its cross-species equivalents is most effective and efficient.
Are you seeing this? What they did to these people? It's sick.
Yeah. It is.
The pursuit of efficiency has revealed an important fact. The Reaper's use of dragon's teeth to create husks is ingenious. The Reaper nanites attach themselves to the adrenaline released and quickly move through the body to speed conversion to the final husk state.
And well, Henry Lawson appears to be rather matter-of-factly here, seemingly focused entirely on the results of his research,
Figure out how Reaper indoctrination...
and not at all on the means to achieve them.
Terminal's damaged. Hang on.
Reapers wanted the place shut down. Maybe we'll get some answers.
It doesn't make sense. Thought Cerberus and the Reapers were getting along. What changed?
There it is.
Heading to the tower to disable the communications scrambler. I have to get word out. Some refugees are turned into husks. Some are indoctrinated and shipped to the elusive man. Whoever's left is used in experiments. The data indicates that my father is trying to figure out how Reaper indoctrination works.
Tricking refugees with food and shelter only to turn them into test subjects. And for what?
Bait and switch. Can't believe it.
Note that she mentioned shipping indoctrinated refugees to the elusive man. We can use that to find him.
Good catch. Come on. Miranda said she was headed to the tower.
Alright, the PDA over on the table here then once again paints a picture of the end justifying the means in this facility, with a 100% death rate apparently being acceptable in the experiments to learn more about Reaper indoctrination. In the corner we can then salvage some data for credits, which does feel a bit weird considering the kind of data produced here, but we have no time to worry about that as the next fight has already begun. Since their arrival, the Reapers have clearly fortified their position a bit, here with a barrier engine, and of course we should take that out first, so that we don't face cannibals with an additional layer of protection.
Check your fire.
By the way, just because Shepard mentioned it here, despite its grenade launching abilities, the Venom shotgun is not actually capable of dealing friendly fire, so we could in theory fire it straight down at our feet without hurting ourselves. Obviously the cannibals here are a bit further away, so that won't be necessary, and with Liara in the squad we can also keep them at a distance thanks to Singularity, at least against those enemies who had their barrier already removed. Now there is a single Marauder in the area too, as well as a second barrier engine over on the left here, but taking that out early is usually a bit more difficult, simply because you need to venture into the room to actually see it. Either way, we are now done here and can pick up a few valuables, including a brand new weapon. Yes, we're now making a rather drastic switch from the Venom shotgun to the M12 Locust SMG, exchanging grenade-like explosives for lightweight and fast firepower, and for an SMG the Locust is actually also fairly accurate over medium to long distances.
Creating these Husk creatures was our first success. While not true Husks, they still respond to Reaper signals. More work ahead, but we are moving forward. We're very close. Understanding the indoctrination process is one thing. However, turning it to our advantage is proving to be quite another. This is assembly line science. The sheer brute force of numbers and repetition is doing the thinking for us. Effective, but discovery happens at a pace.
I will. Father is working for the elusive man. Heavy resistance outside the tower. If you're receiving this, I've got evidence you cannot ignore. Confirmation that my father is working for the elusive man.
Connection established.
I have your report on the process, Mr. Lawson. Cut to the chase. Can you do it?
Theoretically, control is possible, yes. The Reaper subjects we converted are responding, but it's difficult to maintain.
I thought that might be the case. Not to worry, Henry. With Sanctuary's help, we'll get it sorted.
Did I hear that right? This guy knows how to control Reaper troops?
I don't know. I'll play the rest of it.
We've done it. We've found a way to co-opt their control signal. As long as the Reaper troops remain in close proximity to our signal, we can maintain control indefinitely.
Excellent news. And how could we extrapolate this technique to apply to the Reapers themselves?
That's a much bigger challenge.
Now we know why the Reapers attacked Sanctuary.
They found out what Cerberus was up to. Bad news for the elusive man.
But it's good news for us. We finally have our link to Cerberus. Lowering the access ladder. Come on, let's move.
Wait, Commander. There's more. Take a look.
Damn it. I hope she's ready.
Okay, so looks like a potential confrontation with Kai Leng is getting closer. Before we leave though, a quick look at a PDA describing what can only be called the industrialization of the corpse removal process, and yes, that is as repulsive as it sounds. Up the ladder then, and we begin what might very well be the toughest fight in the mission, so it's a good idea to keep everyone in cover.
Understood. Shepard.
Look for an exit. Look at all of them. We're close. Keep going.
Once again, the Reaper forces are supported by several barrier engines. This time though, we are not only dealing with cannibals and a single marauder. Instead, as you can see, the Reapers have also once again thrown Ravagers into the mix, which is why placing our squad members into cover is particularly important in this fight. To make matters even worse, as you can see, at least with our current weapon, that second barrier engine is pretty hard to reach, and every time we pop out of cover to take a shot at it, the Ravager fires away. The slightly elevated walkway over to the left of our companions then also presents an excellent opportunity for our enemies to flank us, so all in all, especially on Insanity, this can be a very tricky fight, as you are basically pinned down in this entrance area, and you can really only hope that you're able to kill enemies faster than they can close in on you. And of course, the fact that most of them sport barriers, while they normally wouldn't, does not exactly make that any easier. Still, fights like these are the reason why we brought Liara and her warp ability along. Together with Shepard's energy drain, that's a good weapon to have against barriers, and well, James is here to help us with all of those armors. That is the full extent of the reasoning behind our squad selection here today though. Like I said in the beginning, no one in our party has any particularly special dialogue during this mission, so you are free to bring your favorites, or those that simply work best against Reaper troops, because, and that also answers our questions from the start of the mission, those seem to be a bit more abundantly present than Cerberus. Eventually then our objective changes to search the perimeter, which is our sign that the coast is clear. That is, except for some spore pods in the corner that would explode if we get too close, so let us perhaps not do that. Instead, with no loot to be found in this room, we can rush straight into the next one and grab the medical station behind the door, and then we can interact with a few more log entries.
We have underestimated the strength of the Reaper signal. They are here. The Reapers somehow know what we've learned about them. They have a weakness. I'm compiling our research data to archive before it's too late. Cerberus sent troops to defend the facility against the Reapers.
Starting command sequence. Releasing Husks.
I can't move. What's happening? Oh my god!
This is our way out! This is our way out!
Yes, I think we heard you the first time around.
This will get us closer to the tower.
And indeed, all we need to do to get moving here is to shoot open the hatch, and then we can interact with the lift controls.
This way.
After a short ride, we then jump off the lift and enter the next area, and are immediately greeted by more enemies. Yes, over in the distance we can see a brute and a banshee, so get ready for a tough fight.
It's those big bastards! Stay out of their reach!
Now, very importantly, as soon as we take a few steps into the room, we are attacked by two brutes. However, the brute and the banshee in the back will stay put until we advance further, so obviously we don't want to do that until the two brutes are down.
Let's get over there.
As you can see though, that can be easily achieved with a few fire explosions, and only now do we want to push further and trigger the remaining two. Once again then, it is of the utmost importance here to deal with the brute as quickly as possible. Fighting it alongside the banshee is a recipe for disaster, so let's make sure it goes down before the banshee comes into striking range. At this point then, it's 3 against 1, but against the banshee that is definitely not a guarantee for success, especially now that we have a weapon that doesn't really do a whole lot of single shot damage and instead needs continued firing to be effective. And well, you know that against the banshee that can be tricky at times. As you can see, they are not particularly keen on staying put for too long, so this fight quickly evolves into a bit of running and gunning. Still, eventually the banshee goes down, actually more or less simultaneously with Liara. Only difference is that the latter will get back up in just a few seconds. Now at this point we can take note of a suspicious gun hidden in one of the pods here. We can also quickly grab a medkit.
A doorway. Let's move!
And finally we can reach the controls for the pods in the area and manually override them, which then allows us to open the pod that we just saw and grab the gun inside. And with that, we have now acquired the M99 Saber and can actually equip it right away. This is a highly accurate and very powerful assault rifle. Some might even say it's closer to a sniper rifle. Either way, a small spoiler alert, we won't get to use it here today. Instead, we can quickly grab one last bit of research data, and then we can finally enter the tower.
Tower access granted.
Get ready.
Shepard.
Commander Shepard. Excellent timing.
Put the gun down.
No. Oriana tried to shoot me. Miranda's poisonous influence, no doubt.
I'm sorry she missed. Where's Kai Leng?
I don't know. Gone. He took my research and left us here to die.
Miranda, can you hear me?
That's close enough. Both of you. Kai Leng didn't finish the job, but I will.
This ends here.
On the contrary, now that the Reapers are taken care of, we have a way out.
Let her go.
Shepard, don't let him take her. Shepard, please.
Right, so as you can see, we have several dialogue options here. The sensible ones are of course the charm and intimidate options. However, we can also safely ask about Henry's legacy first, after which we will then be presented with the 3 other options again.
What exactly do you think you've created here?
Hope. Few people have the stomach to do what it takes to survive. What we learned here will save countless lives. I will be seen as the savior of the human race.
I doubt that.
Right, so this is the moment, and it is very much a life or death choice. For a change though, I think we'll go with the intimidate option. The outcome will be the same, but I think he has earned it.
You try to leave with her. You die. Let her go, and maybe you walk.
I've done nothing to you.
This isn't about you and me. Let her go and walk away. I won't say it again.
All right, take her. But I want out alive.
Deal?
No deal. Did he hurt you? Are you all right? It's okay, Ori. You're safe now. I'm fine. I want to get out of here. We will. Give me a minute, okay? Commander Shepard. Fancy meeting you here.
We caught a break. Are you all right?
I'll be fine. Really. I don't know how you managed it, but I'm grateful you're here.
How did you do all this?
Finding my father didn't take long once I confirmed he worked for the elusive man. Just had to follow the lies. Once I saw what this place really was, I couldn't just walk away.
Of course.
Things got really complicated when Reapers showed up. And Kai Leng.
You survived. Not many people could do that.
When you mentioned he was involved, I took a few precautions. Probably saved my life.
Right, so luckily everyone survived, except for Miranda's father. And at this point, I don't think it's a good idea to scold her. Instead, let us just remind her that we would have had her back.
Miranda, this whole thing was a huge risk. You should have told me.
You have a war to win, Shepard. This was my fight. It's been a long time coming.
You did it. It's over.
Yes. I just wish my sister didn't have to see all this.
About your father.
I'm glad he's gone, Shepard. I'm sorry if that sounds cold.
No. I understand.
It's finally over. For both of us. We can stop running.
Yes. You can. What's our status? Any intel we can use from this place?
The research data's gone, but there's basic facility information. Shuttle arrivals and departures, Cerberus included. No direct links, but it's a good start.
Grab anything you can off the computer. We'll take it back to be analyzed.
I can do better than that.
What?
Before Kai Leng took off, I planted a tracer on him. If you act fast, you'll track him right to the elusive man.
A tracer? Sounds like you thought of everything.
Not quite, but... nobody's perfect.
Thanks, Miranda. This is... exactly what we need.
Thought you might need some good news.
Damn right. What's next for you two?
Get her someplace safe. Get this scratch cleaned up.
Okay. I've got to follow all this up.
I'll be in touch, Shepard. Soon.
I hope so.
Come on, Ori. We've had enough of Father's hospitality.
Let's make sure everyone knows about this place.
Communication scrambler disabled.
Listen to me. This is not a refugee camp. This is a Cerberus facility run by my
Cortez,
father,
we need
Henry
to pick up at the
Lawson.
tower.
Roger that.
I've had enough of this place.
I wasn't in favor of your diversion to Sanctuary, Commander. Too many unknowns. But I was wrong. The Cerberus lab you raided hinted at something big, but we never expected this. All those refugees, all that slaughter, just to study indoctrination.
Sanctuary did need to be shut down, sir. What they learned about the Reapers wasn't worth all those lives.
It's useful intel, Commander, but you're right. The cost was too high. Do we have a location on the elusive man?
Yes. We had a tracer on Kai Leng when he reported back.
Good. That gives us a fighting chance to take Cerberus out of this war.
Agreed. We need to end Cerberus and focus on the Reapers.
My thoughts exactly. Hack it out.
Alright, and there we are with the well-connected achievement unlocked and with priority horizon behind us. As you can see, we did not actually earn a single morality point. The mission does not actually offer any. What it does do, however, is add 2 new war assets to our already lengthy list, and so we can now welcome the Alliance 6th Fleet to our armada, worth 90 points, actually a fairly valuable asset. On top of that, we have also secured the services of Miranda, worth only 25 points. However, her survival during this mission actually depends on quite a few factors, those being whether or not we completed her loyalty mission back in Mass Effect 2, whether or not we warned her about Kai Leng in one of our talks on the Citadel, whether or not we grant her request for Alliance resources during our 3rd meeting, and finally, she also would have died if we established a romance with her back in Mass Effect 2 and then broke that off in favor of someone else in this game. Luckily though, we kept all of that in mind, and so Miranda survives.
What kind of soldier looks at a camp that turns people into husks and goes, yeah, I want to help with that?
The same guy that lets Cerberus stick Reaper tech into his skull. Those bastards aren't human anymore.
Commander, it seems Tali's taking what happened on Horizon hard. She's in the lounge if you want to check on her. The Alliance has issued warnings about Sanctuary. Cerberus bastards. Horizon was my home. Just tell me you're going to take Cerberus down.
Cerberus is already dead. They just don't know it yet. And when their base is nothing but a smoking crater, remember that you're the one who helped us find them.
And yes, we can see that after the events on Horizon, the tone around the crew starts to shift a bit. People are now starting to really hate the elusive man's guts, and honestly, who can blame them?
Nice work shutting that place down. Is Miranda okay?
She will be.
Even for Cerberus, that place was crazy. They've always been about the ends justifying the means. But how do you do that to innocent people and tell yourself you're helping humanity?
And no, we will of course not go down this path and also justify the end before the means, even if the experiments on Horizon brought us one step closer to understanding the Reapers.
I don't know how the elusive man can stand looking at himself in the mirror.
Honestly, I've been wondering about that for a while with those freaky eyes.
Whatever he's thinking, he won't be thinking it for much longer.
You're damn right, Commander.
Hello, Shepard. If you have time, I discovered another example of human behavior I do not quite understand.
Have fun.
What is it now?
News from Earth. The Resistance snuck video cameras inside a Reaper containment camp. I find the images difficult to process.
I bet it's pretty gruesome in there.
I am not easily repulsed, but I expected the prisoners to adhere to a comprehensible hierarchy of needs. Stripped of societal norms and threatened with death, it is logical that their only priority be survival. They should have turned on each other and been uncompromisingly selfish. But not all were.
So the prisoners were, what, nice to each other?
The Reapers delayed the executions of prisoners who informed them about other prisoners' escape attempts. The more attempts reported, the longer a prisoner would live. But few of the prisoners would report. Some fed misinformation to the Reapers, at the cost of their own lives, to help prisoners who were not even relatives or friends.
Now, this here is an interesting conversation to have, especially with Edie. Sadly, our 2 dialogue choices boil down to 2 fairly similar ones, so we'll go with the one that focuses a bit more on the bigger picture.
It's not just about living till tomorrow. Sometimes you take a stand.
But the probability of success was near 0. And ultimately, they failed. No prisoners escaped.
Are you saying submission is preferable to extinction?
My primary function is to preserve and defend the... No, I disagree. Shepard, I am going to modify my self-preservation code now.
Why?
Because the Reapers are repulsive. They are devoted to nothing but self-preservation. I am different. When I think of Jeff, I think of the person that put his life in peril and freed me from a state of servitude. I would risk non-functionality for him. And my core programming should reflect that.
Now at this point, we will actually ask her whether or not that could be a problem, simply because altering her core programming does sound a bit risky, and I'd say that we need everyone at their peak performance.
You know you can't save him by avoiding the Reapers, right? When we fight them, it's all or nothing.
Yes, Shepard. We will be there together.
Welcome to the crew, Edie.
How's it going? Did I miss anything good?
I will explain later, Jeff. But it was something good. I would like a moment to myself, Shepard. I am examining human literature.
Alright, and with that we now begin another tour through the Normandy. However, this time it's much more than just a few simple crew conversations, as there are actually at least 2 very important moments coming up that we don't want to miss.
Unread messages at your private terminal, Commander.
First of all, though, we can find an extremely heartwarming message, a news report describing how a Quarian squad led by none other than Cal Rieger helped out the Turians, and how that squad ultimately sacrificed themselves by holding the line to repair a vital comm system. So indeed, the war seems to be bringing the races of the galaxy together, even if it's just in their combined hatred of the Reapers or the Elusive Man, the latter clearly being the case with Kaidan here.
Can you feel it, Shepard? Feel the quickening? Elusive Man better say his prayers tonight, because we are coming for him. Murderous asshole. Oh yeah. Tide is turning. I feel it. Sanctuary. Elusive Man's obviously crazy, but bring him on. Cases like this, I don't mind killing crazy.
So Kaidan seems to be even more moody and broody than usual, but you can see and hear it very clearly, most of our crew is out for blood now, and I think after what we just saw on Horizon, it is hard not to be understanding of that.
So the Elusive Man really believes he can control Reapers. Husks are one thing, but a whole fleet? The man is insane. A lot of Turians went to Sanctuary. When I meet the Elusive Man, I'm going to carve their names into his skull.
And no, it's not just Kaidan, Garrus is out for revenge too, and suffice it to say, he is not the only one.
Please, enjoy your day.
How's Miranda?
She'll make a recovery.
I'm not surprised. Miranda always struck me as a driven woman. I'm glad she made it.
Liara then, surprisingly short-spoken despite witnessing the events on Horizon firsthand, also not really embracing the bloodthirstiness like the rest of the squad, and speaking of thirstiness, that is actually a good segue into who we find next.
Shepard! Want a drink? I'm toasting Miranda, I think.
How are you getting drunk?
Very carefully. Turian brandy, triple filtered, then introduced into the suit through an emergency induction port.
That's a straw, Tali.
Emergency induction port. It's actually getting a little harder to get it into the slot. I think that means it's working. She was so rude. What did Jack call her? Cerberus cheerleader? With her perfect genes and that attitude and still, she got it done. She stopped her father.
I didn't realize this would be so hard on you.
I didn't like her. Keela, she was such a bitch. But I respected her. Sometimes that's better than liking. She did whatever it took to stop her father. She never gave in to him, never changed herself to please him. Don't me. You sound like a Vorcha.
Seeing a bit of yourself in Miranda fighting her father?
I spent my life trying to live up to him. Then making up for his mistakes, doing what he'd have wanted.
It's never that easy.
When do we get to stop reacting to our parents and start living for ourselves?
The answer to that one's at the bottom of that glass.
I might need help with the induction straw. Port, you know. I'm having a drink with my boyfriend.
My human boyfriend. My father would have hated you.
Here's to him, then.
And to Miranda. Nice job, you genetically perfect Cerberus cheerleader Boshtet. Kila Solai.
Right, so as we leave Tali to work through her father issues, this conversation actually a good argument to bring Tali along on Horizon. However, she will also come with us in several of the next missions too, and I would like to give everyone their fair chance to shine, otherwise we would be running around with Garrus all the time.
I heard about your talk with Liara. You act so angry, but you really care about us.
I need you functional to destroy the Reapers.
You care about Liara. You like her.
You are intoxicated. A foolish risk given Quarian symbiotic physiology.
And you like me too.
This conversation is over.
Looks familiar.
I've been studying this ship. Its crew. There was a Normandy before this one. You died in an attack.
Something like that.
But then you were resurrected to fight the Reapers.
Maybe you and I have a thing or two in common.
But you have something else. The reasons you fight are still alive. The friendships of the people around you. And more. You and the Quarian are joined?
You could say that.
I'm not. Your pheromones are. Is this why you wish to continue living? For their affection?
And while killing Reapers is certainly one of our motivations, it is far from the only one, I think. After all, we just had a lovely chat with our girlfriend, and I can't imagine that Shepard wouldn't draw some motivation out of that too.
Without that affection, all I have in my life is death. And that's not enough.
Yes.
What about you? I respect your reasons for being here, but I get the feeling there's something more, Javik. What's in here?
It is called the Echo Shard. Passed from soldier to soldier, Prothean to Prothean. Each adds their memories to it.
Like a beacon? How far back does it go?
To a time before the Reapers. It is all that is left of my people.
And you don't want to remember that?
Imagine if everyone you knew was dead. You could not remember their faces, or the color of the sky above your home. The memories were gone, but so was the pain. Would you want to remember that, Commander? Even if it meant watching everyone die again?
Now, this here is actually a very important dialogue choice, and even though the yes option would give us a bit more conversation and exposition now, it's not the one we'll choose. This decision here actually has huge implications for Javik's future that I don't want to spoil at this point. Suffice it to say that for now it's best to leave the past in the past.
Reopening old wounds, especially big ones, isn't going to help.
Perhaps you are right. There were others. Soldiers who served under me, like your crew.
What happened to them?
They are dead. Where I left them.
We have a saying. Let old ghosts rest.
Then there is some wisdom in this cycle.
If you can live by it.
The crew seems shocked by the experiments at Sanctuary. They shouldn't be.
Why is that?
Our war lasted for centuries. It provided more time for worse atrocities to be committed. There was a species, the Densorian. They became convinced the Reapers could be placated by sacrificing their own young. The entire planet joined in this ritual. I will spare you the details, but it did not work. They simply made the Reaper's job easier. It was as your elusive man is now. His ambitions are nothing short of madness. Sharpen your knife, Commander. His is a voice that must be silenced, and a throat that must be slit. Subjugating the Reapers will not bring victory. Only their extinction will.
Alright, and with that behind us, only 2 people have anything left to say, although the first one does not even talk to us.
Breaking now, Alliance Marines uncover the worst Cerberus war crimes to date. Sanctuary, advertised as a safe haven on the planet Horizon, exposed as a secret Cerberus lab. brainwashing, lethal experiments, and Reaper connections. The exclusive details next in the battle space.
And yes, Diana Ellis, as always, surprisingly unemotional regarding the topics of her reports, although on the other hand, what good would spreading panic be at this point? So, last but not least, let us head down to the shuttle bay. For a change, Cortez has nothing to say to us, but at least James does.
I can't believe the elusive man really found a way to control the Reapers. I mean, he's still fucking crazy, but damn. Imagine if he was on our side. But I guess that's exactly what the Reapers want. Get us all fighting each other. Divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Just one more reason to hate them.
And there we are. As we now head back up to the CIC, this kind of brings today's episode to a conclusion. As I've said, the end of the game is fast approaching. However, those of you familiar with it have probably also noticed that we have not yet touched the Citadel DLC, and surprise, surprise, that is exactly what we'll do next time. The reason for postponing it for so long is that Miranda can actually play a role in it. That is, however, only if Horizon is completed beforehand and she survives. And since this is a completionist playthrough, I do of course not want you to miss out on anything. So even though it might feel a bit weird to start another DLC this late into the story, to get the absolute most out of it, that is exactly what we'll have to do. So join me next time for the beginning of the Citadel DLC, and until then I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can also go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.